It was an accident. Nobody would have... At least nobody'd mean to. Law, his uncle is gonna see me transferred to mid-operation engine cleaning on the claim. Unless... Hey, how'd you like to make some bits? Some real bits? And keep a tragic accident that'll lead to the end of a promising career. Total secret. Well, no. Not yet you haven't. See, I can't just let Bardot go. There'd be questions, accusations, and assumptions as to who was responsible, and that's no kind of solution. And even worse, since there's apparently nobody coming to do an autopsy, I might have to just send Bardot to the claim to start her sentence on all available evidence. Absolutely. Come on now. You need to reconsider. I'm offering you good bits for easy work. You'll also be saving at least one life from the toils of endless labor.
What's happening? Are you making any progress? Thank you, but please hurry. I've got severe claustrophobia, and being locked in this tiny cave...
You're back? Why? Thank Law. I was genuinely concerned I'd have to sort this out on my own. But I'd much rather pay you and drop the charges against Bardot instead. So we got this thing. An acidic dematerializer that we use to melt mantisaur dung, so it don't call in the local wildlife. But it'll actually work on anything. That means if someone used it to melt Cuddy, there would be no body, which would mean no autopsy, which would mean no evidence, which would end the investigation. I'd do it myself, but my boss said she's on her way for a surprise inspection, so I can't leave. But if you go find one and melt the body, I'll make it worth your while. Of course she does. If she shows up and we're all out of order, it makes us look bad. And if we look bad, she looks bad. So if I'm not here, it's a mess for everyone. Well, then she's cleared, of course. No more questions asked. She goes free, you get bits, I get on with my life. Deal? Thank Law. You'll find Cuddy inside the tower, but you'll have to sneak your way past the guards. It simply wouldn't do for me to announce your intentions to the base. Then come back and tell me when I've got no more evidence to hold Bardot and can draw this whole thing to a close.
Combat probably.
Get you gone.
Ooh, an enemy.
Proceeding to attack.
I've been told Chief Cuddy's corpse has gone missing. Which is a surprise to both of us, I'm sure. Thank you for your help. You've saved 2 careers today and allowed us to put this whole miserable affair behind us. Yes. Well, the nature of a meritocracy is that sometimes it serves up the rewards we deserve, rather than the ones we want. If Cuddy would have worked within the system more than he tried to work around it, maybe it wouldn't have made him the instrument of his own demise. Regardless, it's nothing but ink in the ledger now. And speaking of ledgers, Bardot is free, and here's the balance for yours, which means we're done.
You did it! You actually did it! I can't believe you could get it done. Thank you, thank you, thank you! I'm so glad to be out of that damn cage. Framing me? Who? Do you know what happened? That good-for-nothing rung leech! That dunderhead! I can't believe he'd... Oh, he's about to learn that poor Chief Cuddy's not the only one with executive contacts in the family. My cousin's a VP in R&D who used to head testing on Numa. Abner's going to spend the rest of his downright miserable life wishing he just confessed and took what's coming. That makes me extra thankful for what you did. If it'd been left in Abner's hands, he'd have made sure they'd thrown me in a hole so deep, even the Sprats wouldn't come visit.
You don't always have to go right for dismemberment, Asa. Consider a more subtle approach. You know, death by 1,000 cuts.
Only 1,000 cuts? I once cut down a skeptic with 1,100 cuts. At least that's when I stopped counting.
The fact that you counted does not make the story less unsettling.
Investigating hostile intentions.
Pick it up, plug it down. It's Fizzos, Fizzos, we love Fizzos, Fizzos, Spectrum Vodka. It's Fizzos, Fizzos, we love Fizzos.
And now it's available in mysterious murky brown.
Fizzos, Spectrum Vodka.
That was sponsored by Auntie's Choice Office of Munitions and Catering. Time to restock your arsenal? Planning a key business dinner or banquet event? They have everything you need in one place. This is one of my favorites, though admittedly I'm far from discerning.
Got your candy.
That's tobacco.
Come taste this candy.
That's tobacco.
If you started young, it's worth the fun.
tobacco.
Rubber candy.
That's tobacco.
If folded coffin bothers you, don't worry, you can chew it too.
Prepare to attack. Adversary vulnerabilities identified.
Behind your back, they make fun of you.
I have a fix on their weaknesses.
Smoke that candy,
That's tobacco.
favorite candy.
It's tobacco.
I'll handle this. Target analyzed. Lay down fire. Standing by to stupefy. Combatant scan. On the wrist. Swine. On the wrist.
Tobacco. That's tobacco.
You want your candy.
That's tobacco.
Check your scope for combatant analysis.
Reach out for mayhem!
Broadcasting only the most profitable news, music, and honest product endorsements. This is Wireless Free Arcadia, the voice of Auntie's Choice.
Salutations, Arcadia. Auntie Cleo here with a direct message to all Protectorate subjects listening in. I'm afraid you've been fed a lot of hooey about all of us at Auntie's Choice. Your so-called superiors would have you believe we're unscrupulous interlopers intent on stealing the very bread off your plate. Tut-tut! No! Nothing could be farther from the truth. Listen to your auntie. They say they offer you direction, meaning, purpose. We say that's a fancy way of stating you're their slave. They say you're part of a community. We say you're just part of the herd. At Auntie's Choice, we respect the individual. We're providers, liberators, spreading free trade and self-betterment throughout the galaxy. As the head of our corporation, I'm here to tell you personally, it's never too late to rebrand.
Both target analyzed. Lay down fire.
Join us. Embrace freedom. Revel in choice. Auntie's Choice.
Now upward and onward. I consider this song a real standout number.
Adversary vulnerability.
You surely will.
Step aside. On the wrist.
Taking the fight out of them. Locking them down. Combatant scan. Swine. I have a fix on their weaknesses.
Wrist weapon primed!
Check your scope for combatant analysis. You're just trying to move, Commander. Absorbificator is charged. Vital critical. Don't become a statistic, Commander. Reviving the...
Tut! No! Nothing could be farther from the truth. Listen to your auntie. They say they offer you direction, meaning, purpose. We say that's a fancy way of stating you're their slave. They say you're part of a community. We say you're just part of the herd. At Auntie's Choice, we respect the individual. We're providing, liberating, spreading free trade and self-betterment throughout the galaxy. As the head of our corporation, I'm here to tell you personally, it's never too late to rebrand and start anew. Join us, embrace freedom, revel in choice. Auntie's Choice.
Okay, back to business. Alrighty then, it's well past time for more merry melodies.
Standing by to...
Drink it down.
Purification in progress. Mitigating the threat.
Target analyzed. Lay down fire.
Green and black and blue.
Step aside. Water. This might sting. All over it. Step aside. Water.
Pick it up, tip it up, plug it down.
Adversary vulnerabilities identified. Forgot to mention. Let's weapon. Mobilizing.
Recharge from a step aside. Why? This might sting. A lot.
You crave more colors through the gauntlet down. Now spec the vodka, golden brown. All the colors, don't overthink it. Tip it back and drink it. Drink it, drink it, drink it, drink it, drink it down. Pick it up, tip it up, plug it down. It's Fizzos, 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 Spectrum.
Thank you, dear.
Drink it, drink it, drink it, drink it, drink it down. Pick it up, tip it up, plug it down. It's Fizzos, Fizzos, we love Fizzos, Fizzos, Spectrum Vodka. It's Fizzos, Fizzos, we love Fizzos.
And now it's available in mysterious murky brown.
Fizzos, Spectrum Vodka.
Amplified across the rings of Elysium, from the boardroom to the bottom rung, this is Wireless Free Arcadia, official frequency of Auntie's Choice.
Salutations, Arcadia. Auntie Cleo here with a direct message to all Protectorate subjects listening in. I'm afraid you've been fed a lot of hooey about all of us at Auntie's Choice. Your so-called superiors would have you believe we're unscrupulous interlopers intent on stealing the very bread off your plate. Tut-tut! No! Nothing could be farther from the truth. Listen to your auntie. They say they offer you direction, meaning, purpose. We say that's a fancy way of stating you're their slave. They say you're part of a community. We say you're just part of the herd. At Auntie's Choice, we respect the individual. We're providers, liberators, spreading free trade and self-betterment throughout the galaxy. As the head of our corporation, I'm here to tell you personally, it's never too late to rebrand and start anew. Join us, embrace freedom, revel in choice. Auntie's Choice.
And now, back to it. I consider this song a real standout number. Assuming you have taste, you surely will as well.
Hey, you there! Need a smoke that distinguishes you from the average oaf? Well, look no further.
Wow, that's large!
It's the only cigar that says I'm in charge. It's an Uncle Winsworth Belvedere Stout. When they see me coming, they shout. Perchance a glance at me with peace. They know that I'm a it's the Winsworth Stout, and it says with pride that I'm a one-time bona fide. In any crowd, I'm sure to stand out with an Uncle Winsworth Belvedere Stout.
Broadcasting only the most profitable news, music, and honest product endorsements, this is Wireless Free Arcadia, the voice of Auntie's Choice.
Salutations, Arcadia. Auntie Cleo here with a direct message to all Protectorate subjects listening in. I'm afraid you've been fed a lot of hooey about all of us at Auntie's Choice. Your so-called superiors would have you believe we're unscrupulous.
Proceeding to attack.
Intent on stealing the very bread off your plate.
You're weapon prime! Fortificator at ready status.
Meaning, purpose. We say that's a fancy way of stating you're community. We say you're just part of the herd. At Auntie's Choice, we respect the individual. We're providers, liberators, spreading free trade and self-betterment throughout the galaxy. As the head of our corporation, I'm here to tell you personally, it's never too late to rebrand and start anew. Join us, embrace freedom, revel in choice. Auntie's Choice.
Now, upward and onward. This is one of my favorites, though admittedly I'm far from discerning.
She's just the best choice. It's Auntie's Choice. You've let yourself slide, feeling down on your luck. Fell off the ladder and you think that you're stuck. The only loser is the shirker who quits. Your problems can be solved if you spend more bits. Try and try, never settle for less. It's true what they say, money buys happiness. Work extra shifts, you can sleep later. We've got the goods to make you better than nature. Auntie is the best choice. Bringing betterment to keep us content. Auntie is the best choice. No product testing to do, means cheaper prices for you. Auntie is the best choice. Feel the benefits of spending your bits. She's just the best choice. It's Auntie's Choice.
I'll handle this.
You can sleep later.
Wine.
For you, Auntie is feel the benefits. She's just the best choice. It's Auntie's Choice.
Next up, the real reason wireless-free Arcadia exists. Advertising. The stamen of a typical Arcadian Titan flower, or Colossicus arum, is responsible for dumping several pounds of dander into the local atmosphere each pollination cycle. Multiply that by the dozens surrounding most settlements, and the many other flowering megaflora native to the colony, and you have a recipe for
Ratcheting up my aggression. Back and scan.
for release.
Prove your arm. This might sting. A lot. No target, Commander. Don't save me.
Either restore my life or avenge my death.
I'm down in case you haven't noticed.
Here's a fish. Real beauty. Let's see what's inside. Boar's worst. It's not the worst unless it's Boar's worst. Boar's worst. Oh, Boar's worst. Grab a can today. Tongues to sweet meats, lungs to hearts. They use all the tastiest parts. Ears to hocks and rears to tits. Efficient meals means we make more bits. Boar's worst, oh Boar's worst. It's not the worst unless it's Boar's worst. Boar's worst, oh Boar's worst. Grab a can today. No coarse pores, brisk spoken our gums. With their proprietary whisker extraction. Pulverized bones means no tooth cracking crunch. We gobble it down and get back to the action.
Oh, howdy. Didn't see you there.
You caught us taking 5 between our 10-hour shifts.
You know, working the assembly line makes for a powerful hunger. So, when we need to relight our thrusters, we don't waste time slow roasting some fancy woolly cow fillet mignon. No, sir. We crack open a room temp tin of Borswurst. That's right. Nothing like an instant, soft serving of feral pork paste to boost productivity to full burn in those small hours. All right, enough yapping. Time is big.
Seems like a bad sign. They're benumbed, locking them down. I have a fix on their weaknesses. Recharge the mayhem. Multiplicator is charged. Taking the fight out of them, mitigating the threat. Come back and scale.
I'm alive. Who needs to die? I must admit to being highly vexed by this kill order situation.
Don't be a shirker. Don't be a slob. Grab a can and get back on the job with Boar's worst. Boar's worst. It's not the worst unless it's Boar's worst.
That popular favorite was requested by Carlson Fidel, thinking of their family in Halcyon. Let's hope our War of Liberation brings the brave employees of said colony the products they need to survive in time. This one reminds me of the morning we drove the Protectorate from Fairfield. A good day for personal freedom and fair trade.
Num rum. Taste more and feel less. Num rum. No worries, no stress. Num rum. Relax with success. Num rum. Num rum. Taste more and feel less. Num rum. No worries, no stress. Num rum. Relax with success. Num rum. When it's time for a cocktail, Num rum will help you set sail. Problems fade into the sunset. Num rum will help you forget. Work on your fed up and frenetic. You need a neck of anesthetic. Num rum. Taste more and feel less. Num rum. No worries, no stress. Num rum. Relax with success. Num rum. Like a workplace promotion, reassigned to a tropical blue position.
Resorting to fire. Don't become a statistic, Commander. Multiplication
I'm alive. Who needs to die?
Tranquilization's the sweetest whip. Still be on time for your next shift. Num rum. Taste more and feel less. Num rum. No worries, no stress. Num rum. Relax with success. Num rum. Num rum. Taste more and feel less. Num rum. No worries, no stress. Num rum. Relax with success.
hostility. Stop in crime. Have a fix on.
All the news that's happening. This is Rowdy's Free Arcadia.
Adversary vulnerabilities identified.
Recharge for mayhem.
An update from the front. Train in self-betterment bears fruit. The Vox Relay, a hated protectorate communications platform, has been sent hurtling out into space. A considerable setback for their side. A prodigious victory for Auntie's choice. All thanks to top trusted agents in the field. What other machinations do our provocateurs have planned? What strategic successes are yet to come? Wait and see, my friends. Wait and see.
Or salmon worms, with an estimated 70 to 90% of all salmon being infected by these parasites. More importantly, the text contained the solution to eradicating these parasites. Freezing. The simple and obvious, yet untried, act of freezing the salmon meat killed the embedded parasites. A quick test showed the same procedure worked on PBP eggs, although without quite 100%. Effectiveness. The remaining parasite eggs were not removed, a method that was judged too wasteful and expensive, since they increased the protein content of the berries without affecting their texture or flavor in any discernible way.
Hello
The
again.
microscopic egg
Have you brought me
remains
the
were simply
pupa?
too small to be seen or felt by the unaided eyes and tongues of their consumers. So Auntie's Choice administrators were satisfied with this inept solution. Purple berries are now a common nutritional flavoring agent.
Here's the
throughout
reward I
known world.
promised. I am downright giddy to get it into my lab so I can start my experiments.
Well, I, for one, am going to try my best to forget any of this ever happened.
Mantisaurus, eyes up, troops! A mess of the bastards are coming from the east.
Did they follow those folks back from that nest?
Auntie's choice once
You try to limit further damage,
documentarian.
Stun weapon ready, Commander.
Nutritional foodstuffs.
Combatant scale. Combatant on my scope. Taking the fight out of them. They're benumbed. Adversary vulnerabilities identified.
The Sears of
Check your scopes for combatant analysis.
Damn fools are trying to fight me again. What's the big idea? I'll find you. And when I do, weapons at the ready. Moving to an urgent.
You, the getting go-getter. I'm offering deals so good, they're worth crawling under the bullets and over the barbed wire it took to get here.
I can count on you, you can count on me. Hear the golden ratio, geometric polynomial.
Welcome back to Bonnie's What Can I Get You?
the latest field data validating or repudiating our forecasts and relevant informational details for near present and future calculations. The Office of Hindrance Deterrence and Obviation has posted the following for venturesome pursuers of justice and fortune. A bounty for the lives of Edward and Morton Dunsany, brothers and raiders last known to be operating out of the former Protectorate compound, Guardian Estates. A bounty for the life of Jan Dunsany, notorious bushwhacker. Dangerously addled, last suddenly holed up at the Scrapper's Den. Ample rewards to be collected upon completion of the bounty posting site at Matriarch's Mercy.
End message with an emphatic sign-off such as, "You'll never be sad when you have solutions." Oh, that apparently was a note to self, not to be read aloud.
Continuing as predetermined. The following song has been determined to facilitate abstract thinking and constructive rumination.
The color of space, a chromospectral analysis. When asked about the average color of space, the famous stellar cartographer Newton Odescard replied, with no hesitation, beige. To experienced lumen astronomers, his answer was the expected one. But I can already hear the obtuse listener bleating with their faces contorted into a rictus of ignorance. Wouldn't the average color be black or white or simply a shade of gray? No, it would not. The answer is rooted in the science of how hot objects absorb and emit light, which answers the ancillary mystery of why there are no green stars. To understand all of this, you must understand the basics of thermal divarication emission theory. The typical piece of non-heated matter absorbs most electromagnetic radiation that falls upon it, including light, infrared, and radio emissions. And the matter reflects only a small portion of that radiation. The visible part of that reflection is its color. However, most stellar objects generate far more radiation than they absorb, so they can be modeled as an idealized object, which is assumed to absorb 100% of all electromagnetic radiation and re-emit some based on its temperature and composition. Stellar composition determines what packets of light will be emitted, while stellar temperature determines the frequency of light and hence what portion of the spectrum that light is in. Low temperature emission is mostly infrared and not visible to us without proper instrumentation, which I need not describe here. As the stellar body's temperature increases, its emitted light shifts up into visible light, through red into orange, then yellow, then white. Even rare blue stars exist. These are the hottest stars, emitting mostly blue and invisible ultraviolet light. So why are there no green stars, you wonder? I would think the listeners could easily draw this trivial conclusion for themselves, but if I must... It's because any star emitting green light also emits bluish and/or reddish light too, resulting in a non-green star. There is no naturally occurring stellar composition that emits solely packets of green light. In fact, such a composition itself would constitute evidence for intelligent interference, and no such evidence of any kind has ever been detected. Let's get back to Newton Odescard, the famous stellar cartographer. The methodology of the Odescard's chromospectral survey was straightforward. He partitioned his astronomical field of view into grids, then tagged each object in every grid. He ignored empty regions, as black would only dim the color and not change its fundamental hue. The light from every galaxy, star, nebula, and quasar was gathered and fed into a central tabulator for computation. The subsequent spectral analysis produced a final answer to within 0.5% of the predicted value. And that result was beige. More specifically, in the cylindrical coordinate model of color space, the hue is 42 degrees, while the saturation is a mere 9%, and the value is a full 100%. In more novice terms, while the color tends towards white, the addition of a variety of reds and sun blues results in a more beige tone.
One day.
And there you have it. So go forth, neophytes, and as you study your lessons, stare at the nondescript walls of your library, classroom, or dormitory facility, and exult in the knowledge that beige is also...
1,068.5 pardons, but my attention is presently 99.81% occupied, coordinating provisions and supplies for the displaced. I haven't any time for idle chatter. But I suppose I can carve out a moment for urgent business.
Warning, the following song mentions some actions that are improper, something your fractions should never be.
And anticipate the answers, to terminate the errors, and liberate our lives, to integrate ideas, and dissipate disasters.
Broadcasting cognitive resonance across Arcadia, this is Grand Plan Wireless. Prepare for profundity. The moment's at hand for another installment of Ask a Vicar with Vicar Meg Sai. A listener asks, why did the order split from the Protectorate? Well, this is certainly a well-worn question. Must be from a fresh Auntie's Choice convert or the like.
Oh, always eager to cover old ground for a new student. The principal reason for our schism, of course, was the Protectorate's abandonment of reason. Or more specifically, their warping of the matriarch's vision, idealism rooted in scientism. Presiding Bishop Ruth Bassar recognized this early. Empirical evidence was copious. We parted ways with the Protectorate just as Auntie's Choice began their invasion of Arcadia. An invasion we predicted, yet it took our Protectorate colleagues by surprise. Clear proof the Sovereign had lost sight of the grand plan, that he'd become encumbered by delusions of godhood, distracted by grief, obsessed with the rifts. He failed to foresee the real threat of corporate incursion, while his consul increased the gravity of their subjects into ideological submission. Without his original vision, the Protectorate was lost. We did not abandon them. They abandoned the plan. If you're feeling anxious about what's next, just wait. Things to come are constantly happening.
Consistency in your work is wonderful. Consistency in playlists is not. Now for a new song.
The spread, illnesses, and eventual control of the purple-berry parasite. OA Archive transcription number 3918-4 begins here. Hello. For the record, my name is Marie Rothschild, Junior Archivist, Class 4 of the Archive. Today, I would like to talk about irresponsible spread of the purple-berry parasite by Auntie's Choice and its numerous subsidiaries and former supernumerary, although that's a different lecture. The spread of this parasite included a corresponding rise in gastrointestinal illnesses and death until basic preventative measures were put in place after illness-related costs exceeded corporate profits. As is usual for Auntie's Choice. The purple-berry parasite infects nearly 100% of all purple-berry bushes, both in the wild, on corporate farms, and even in our hydroponic collectives. Originally discovered on a single colony world, the purple-berry plant was subsequently spread throughout the colonies due to Auntie's Choice's poorly regulated interstellar shipping. Well, actually, it was due to Spacer's Choice, which somehow merged with another company to form Auntie's Choice. Honestly, these corporate interactions make little sense to me, as they mostly amount to relabeling assets and mascot cartoons. So I will just refer to them as Auntie's Choice going forward. The purple-berry plant was at first thought to be poisonous, as the early colonists eating its berries died from the most potent of discharges this documentarian has ever witnessed in a rare Auntie's Choice lab recording in our archive, which we acquired from a corporate defector to the Protectorate before our stellar system was sealed and the Order ceased daily interactions with our Protectorate allies. But again, I digress. Belated testing by Auntie's Choice's unlettered scientists showed that the berries were not poisonous at all. Instead, they were infected with a microscopic parasite, the purple-berry parasite, or PBP, as it is colloquially called in Auntie's Choice's records. More specifically, the PBP eggs are found in every berry of an infected plant, where these eggs have been subdermally injected by the second stage of the parasite. But I am getting ahead of myself. Let's examine the PBP life cycle in detail. After an infected berry is eaten by a host, the microscopic eggs inside the berries are exposed to the host's digestive enzymes, which trigger their hatching. These parasites enter their second stage as spiky, worm-like creatures with outsized, pincer-like mandibles, which then proceed to feed on the host directly, ingesting tissue and blood along the entire intestinal tract. These worms are eventually expelled when they reach a size of approximately 2 centimeters in length, and they then seek out nearby purple-berry plants to lay their eggs in the ripening purple berries. And I should add that the plants are well fertilized in this entire process. Also, as the expelled contents contain undigested purple-berry seeds, the distribution of the plants is increased, helping infected purple-berry plants to spread farther and grow better than uninfected ones. Perhaps unsurprisingly, careless Auntie's Choice scientists mislabeled this case of obvious symbiosis, given how both the purple-berry plant and its parasite are benefited by the relationship, as a parasitical relationship. Given that initial classification error, it's a wonder the Auntie's Choice scientists managed to ascertain any subsequent safeguards at all. After some additional casualties, plodding Auntie's Choice field researchers discovered that co-native planetary fauna was well adapted to the parasite and hardly affected by it to any large amount. But human colonists were not so fortunate. The PBP worms disrupted the human internal biome to such a degree that the eventual correspondingly large immune response leads to violently explosive diarrhea, resulting in the expelling of the worms, the berries, and most of the person's gastrointestinal tract. Human casualty rates were close to 100%, even when reluctantly given medical attention by Auntie's Choice doctors, who were more concerned with upselling unnecessary procedures or prescribing expensive ointments such as their antibiotics, a topical cream that offers no benefit to the dying patient except possibly smoothing away stubborn wrinkles, according to product literature. However, given the purple berry's non-zero nutritional value and low growing costs, impatient Auntie's Choice administration officials directed their labs to find ways to remove the parasite from the berry. A variety of methods were tested and found effective, but they were all time-consuming and wasteful of the edible portion of the purple berries, so these methods were deemed non-cost-effective and rejected out of hand. Eventually, the answer was found not in a lab, but in a history book. Specifically, a history text on Saltuna.
I assure you these traitors haven't factored us into their equations.
Salmon,
ready to be the hole
tuna,
in their math.
was found that contained a reference to an anisopid nematodes, or salmon worms, with an estimated 70 to 90% of all salmon being infected by these parasites. More importantly, the text contained the solution to eradicating these parasites. Freezing. The simple and obvious and untried act of freezing the salmon meat killed the embedded parasites.
Wait, look!
A quick test showed the same procedure worked on PVP eggs, although without quite 100% effectiveness. The remaining parasite eggs were not removed, a method that was judged too wasteful and expensive, since they increased the protein content of the berries without affecting their texture or flavor in any discernible way. The microscopic egg remains were simply too small to be seen or felt by the unaided eyes and tongues of their consumers, so Auntie's Choice administrators were satisfied with this inept solution.
That's all bluster. We're an unpredicted
Purple berries
variable
are
in
now
his
a
equations, and he
common
knows it.
nutritional and flavoring agent throughout the colony worlds. Mindless Auntie's Choice consumers especially purchase a large variety of purpleberry-themed foods and beverages, all of them mislabeled parasite-free. More accurately, the label should read live parasite-free. But in any case, Auntie's Choice once again demonstrated their contempt for their customers, for nature, and for any pretense of safety. Another reason this documentarian is grateful for our order's fabricated nutritional foodstuffs. OA Archive transcription number 3918-4 ends here.
You have tuned your receiver to Grand Plan Wireless. We verify before we amplify. We have invented a method using reverse osmosis to extract the flavor essence from crabble meat. This extract goes into our tea, while the flavorless sediment is used to increase the protein content of our other fine products, such as our Axiom denatured protein slabs. Let's see Auntie's Choice top that one, only from the Order of the Ascendant. An ease-setting witticism to confer to colleagues at break time. The universal equation should maturate more rapidly and solve its own problems. Consistency in your work is wonderful. Consistency in playlists is not. Now for a new song.
The color of space. A chromospectral analysis.
Nice of you, Wiley, to leave
When
us
asked about the average color of space, the famous stellar
Rejuvenation.
cartographer Newton Otisgard
May be the
replied,
deciding
with
factor
no
in whether you-
hesitation, beige.
The following song was composed, performed, and recorded under the explicit direction of the Sovereign, and as such reflects his excessively high standards.
live or die in the near future. Unless you can expedite hemostasis and proliferate new tissue on your own within a fraction of a second.
No. But I have been told my pain tolerance exceeds normal thresholds.
Your mother must be so proud.
Anyone who doesn't show their work. Timeless advice from the charismatic mathematician. Unspecified peculiarity. A faulty hypothesis.
Assessing.
Those are N-ray junction boxes. That scanner might be useful to see how this place is wired up.
Reacquiring target.
Enough shilly-shallying. And low. Assessing. Verifying hostile presence. Discovery of disturbance is imminent. A random occurrence, perchance. No point in expending further search efforts. Indelibly eradicate algorithmic dissonance.
Architect's perspiring brow, if you try to cite the fourth pillar to me one more time. Scientific advancement should not come at the cost of the grace and dignity of innocent lives. That is all I am saying. Armed conflicts are not the inevitability you are making them out to be, Anya, but rather the result of a populace failing to adhere to scientism's stoic imperative. Oh, and I suppose we're going to pretend the second pillar doesn't exist? I must have just imagined reading Alfred Long's 75 thesis on determinism then.
Anchorites. Be warned. Any conversation with these two may prove pedantic.
I'm aware of the errors of his methodology, but Long's overall opinion is still... Wait, why am I arguing with you about this? Actually, an outside opinion might be useful at this juncture. Our current topic is whether war is ever justified. For the sake of time, please keep your answer brief. But what if widespread suffering is already taking place? Then its causes should be observed, quantified, and a non-violent solution found. You do not extinguish a fire with more flame. Tell that to the Protectorate. We're going in circles again. If only we had access to the materials we requested, perhaps we could settle this debate. I need the book Only Real Numbers, The Casualties of Appeasement by Exemplar Kwong. Second edition, not the first. That's important. And I require Archivist Mahler's dissertation on de-escalation theory. You should be able to locate both pieces of scholarship in the scriptorium. I'd also caution against borrowing additional titles. The scribes are absolute fusspots when their work goes missing. Augustine? Sure. She's got a mind for provocative hypotheticals. Asked a lot more interesting questions than we normally get. I will add it has been some time since we last saw her. Not since before the schism, in fact. Why do you ask? Evidently, she was good at her job then. Augustine was obsessed with the rift. She wanted to know all the potential routes the Order might take to deal with it. We explained that the rift is an aberration of the plan's natural order, corrupting time and space and creating uncertainty. Consequently, all efforts should be made to close it. Apologies, but gossip doesn't fall under our purview. We've secluded ourselves here to avoid such distractions, so I would thank you to exclude us from any remote drama. I'm sure I have no notion of what you're referring to. Good for him. About time someone put theory into application. What my colleague means is Landon Wiley is among our most gifted and dedicated seers. Whatever actions he's taken must be in service of the plan. I do hope no one's been hurt, though. I see. That is distressing to hear. But as we in the Order like to say, the plan actuates by deliberate means. Let us hope this conflict resolves itself soon. You're in luck. I just finished my third reread of it. Chapter 47 is a real treat. When we're finished speaking, I'll put it in the collection drawer, but do take care with it, especially around the bath. We lose more good books that way. Much appreciated. We'll present our final arguments once you've returned with the research.
found another one. Damn
Unidentified
it.
data point.
I knew there'd be a high probability of fighting, but I didn't think.
Hey, none of that. Remember what Wiley told us.
Document every corpse you find so we have an accurate head count later?
Well, yes, that. Also, not everyone will share our vision of the plan. We
Aborting
gave them
search.
the option to join us. And it's not our fault they chose wrong.
I spy my next victim. A hostile combatant.
May all solutions proceed. May all solutions precede problems. Dwarfs, keep on this jumpsuit 1.3 pants legs at a time. Poison upon the ground. Time for quickness.
Watch weapons prime!
We'll be terminated.
I've been known to hold the pressure now.
Look, I know this ain't gonna get to the abbot, but I have complaints that need registering anyhow. This monastery's too big for the staff we've got, and it sure seems like the scienticians and theorists here ain't fixated on keeping neat. I might just be a novice, but at 73 years of age, I have enough self-respect that I shouldn't be picking up another body's lavation towels. Still, ain't as bad as it was in Auntie's choice, but that don't mean it's good. I just ask you folks to remember that there's more of importance out here than just your numbers.
Proceeding to attack.
It's the unknown variable!
Nowhere near as interesting as the taxidermied cross-sections displaying their internal organs I made when I was a child.
Keep to Riley's plan.
Well, this is quite modest. Very simple and austere. Can hardly guess who lives here. Did the abbot take a vow of resplendency?
their instructor, of course. Bishop Bassar has failed this order as its preeminent luminary. And without our intervention, she would make peace with the primitive minds of Auntie's choice. This must be prevented. Whatever the cost, or humanity's ascendance will be forestalled by centuries, if not millennia. The stalwart agent arrives. I need more time to finish my work, so I've prepared a choice for you. The hostages in the card press before you will die unless you intervene. If you go through the door on the right, you'll find the means to save them by solving a simple puzzle. Leave through the other door, however, and they will die, screaming in abject terror. But how could you call yourself an Earth Directorate agent if you allowed that to transpire?
I know a stall tactic when I see one. Calls on you, though, dear.
Definitely not. We should be the only ones killing hostages around here.
Like the cut of your jib. Hard way it is, then.
Raise high probability. Wiley dropped him here.
Normally I'd suggest picking the lock on that safe, but it looks to be rigged to that ridiculous puzzle up above. This must be the so-called puzzle they expect us to waste our time on. Looks like it was constructed by a child.
Analyzing.
I have a fix on their weaknesses. Amplificator is charged. Target analyzed. Lay down. But no target, no attack. Not possible unless you help me first.
Warrants a more thorough investigation. Predicting imminent conflict.
Mobilizing.
Sorry, I've no target.
Adversary vulnerabilities identified.
Way to get the ball rolling.
Look, they obviously meant for this to waste our time. Let's just find a way to kill the hostages so we can move on.
Ah, see? Didn't I tell you our friend would be back? Hurry! Disable the court press machine!
Time will tell if that was a good idea.
Not that I was concerned, mind you. Thank you, stranger. We should be okay here for now. Don't say why we can just dividends. For all of us.
What's up, Aaron? I have everything on very high except for global illumination shadows. But I don't have frame generation on. And I'm using some basic upscaling. Yeah, it looks blurry for me too. I don't know what the deal is with that. Yeah, maybe I'll try to turn off host. Holy shit, everything looks so crisp now. Definitely a hit to my frame rate though. Wow. There's still a little bit of blur going on. Oh, well, I guess that's because I have shadows on low. What was bothering me was the text on the computers.
Then he tells me, oh well, no use deliberating.
Ratcheting up my aggression. Back and scan. Check your scope. Fast analysis. Locking them down. Multiplication in progress.
Reach
Hmm.